about scroll up, just in order to keep this recording for the Power BI. Okay, so the course timeline. What are we going to cover in this course? It's going to be like 6 modules, so divided into 3 sessions. The first session today is 3 hours, so we are going to finish around 15 minutes or something around this. We try to finish at 6, but we intend usually it is 3 hours, 3 hours a session. So we are going to cover the first 2 modules. Module 1 is what is Power BI. We are going to give this introduction. I know some of you know already Power BI or attended introductory session with Power BI, but we are going to cover this to make sure that you are aware big time about Power BI. And this, what we are going to cover in this module, it's going to have a test of knowledge at the end. So you are going to test also your knowledge about Power BI. It will help us to be a, like indication for us if you know really Power BI or you assimilate all what we covered during the session. Module 2 is getting Dynamics 365 Business ready with Power BI, and this will apply for all Dynamics 365 and other products. We are going to tackle also, I mentioned the other products, how you make it ready for Business Central. And the session 2, which is going to be on Thursday, we're going to cover Module 3 and Module 4. Module 3 are to prepare Dynamics 365 data to be used for Power BI. So we have the Dynamics 365 ready, we have Power BI ready. So in Module 3, we start how we prepare our data to be used for Power BI. So we make sure that these data are available. Module 4, we are going to build Power BI reports display on Dynamics Business Central, to display Power BI reports from the data that comes from Dynamics 365 Business Central or whatever the Dynamics you are using. Then the third session and the last session, we are going to cover how to create Power BI dashboard and to display Dynamics data. And finally, we are going to make a practical lab, a very big lab, to do real dashboards, big dashboards, advanced dashboard, and close the training. So these 3 sessions is going to be like on 3 sessions. Each session is 3 hours, and they are going to cover all these 6 modules important. So at the end of this training, and we are going to cover the full objective. So what is the objective of the course? First, to understand the basic and core elements of Power BI as a Microsoft Dynamics or Microsoft data visualization solution. For sure, we are going to just to explain to you 2 minutes about Google Classroom. Then we are going to talk about how to prepare Dynamics 365 to connect with Power BI, to understand how to prepare data in Dynamics 365 before showing it in Power BI, to build Power BI report to show Dynamics 365 data, finally to design and lay out dashboard to show data using Power BI. And for sure, we are going to make practice. It's going to be a very practical sessions, so you need to practice with me all time, and this is the most important. If you don't have enough time to do practice during the session, I always suggest that you do practice after the session. In case you have anything wrong, you can talk with us. You can send us a notification on Google Classroom and all this. So before we start, I'm gonna show you just this Google Classroom and explain a little bit why we are using it. So the power of this portal is to help you get this course easily and to understand and to practice all this. So you are all invited to this Google Classroom. For here in this section, you can put all your questions, or if you have any concern, any problem, like somebody of you today use this to comment, to send us certain that they are not being able to log in. So you can use this streaming part to put your questions, and we'll make sure to answer you as fast as possible. In the classwork part, you will see that you have different sections. The videos part, we are going to upload all the videos of the session, including the video that we are recording now. Okay, so this is the section where we are going to upload the videos of each session. And the presentation materials, you are going to see everything related to training material, certain things that and the tools that we are going to use during our training. So you see it in this section. And for each module on based on the time scheduled for the publishing, you are going to see certain sections. So now if you access your classroom, you will see that you have already posted to be published at 3 o'clock. What is Power BI? So this is the section that we are going to cover now, and what's Power BI. And you will have at the end of this module test of knowledge that we are going to appear for you at 4:15 minutes. So every section is going to appear as long as we move forward in this training. So you are going to use this classwork part to see all the material. You are going to use it to do the test of knowledge, to do also your assignments, and upload all your screenshots that we are going to use to assess you. So this accessibility to this course, it's gonna be to this classroom portal. It's gonna be available for you for a long time after the course. So at any time later on, if you missed any part that we covered during training but you forget about it, you can go back to classroom and see the videos or see the material or ask a question. So it will be our main portal to discuss everything related to Power BI. I'm going also, we're going to publish from time to time a lot of tips and tricks, article, links, videos that is related to Power BI. So this is gonna be like your best knowledge base for you of regarding Power BI. Anybody has any question regarding the classroom before I start? Okay, so
No,
do you have any question? Please,
no.
the session is
From my side,
great. So I prefer also always to have this session like interactive. So if you have any question, anything that you would like to share with me, you can always ask, and I will be ready to answer you. Now starting the module one. So it is we started the course. The first module is what is Power BI. So I believe that you already heard about Power BI. Everybody from knows. Anybody do not know anything about Power BI? So we are all aware about Power BI. I'm gonna pass, this is why I'm gonna pass to this quickly. So based on Google, as I already mentioned this in the introductory session that we did in February, it is an advanced interactive data visualization analytics tools for business intelligence by Microsoft. It's a Microsoft tools. This is why it is called Microsoft Power BI. It is an advanced, yes, because it includes a lot of advanced feature, interactive because there is a lot of interaction that you don't just show data on the dashboard. You can interact with your data, you can put comment, you can drill down, you can share this data and share a dashboard with your colleagues. This is why it is interactive data visualization. The purpose of this Power BI is data visualization. It is for you to visualize your data in a way that you can understand the data and the situation. So the most important part when you create your dashboard and using Power BI is to show data that is easy to be understand and to be analyzed easily for the user. So it is analytics tool, so it will help you to understand your data. This is why we call sometimes data story, so you can build something on the dashboard that can from page to page will show you several things that can help you to understand better the situation. Power BI unify data from many sources, and this is the beauty about it. And today we are going to tackle the Dynamics 365 as main source for us for our data, but it is a tool that you can bring data from different sources. We can bring it from Excel, CSV, text file, SharePoint, CRM, Nav, any ERP, online data. If you have any data that comes like exchange rate, and now we are suffering much in Lebanon regarding exchange rate, and we online data updates coming from vendors, from customers, and in a very interactive, immersive dashboards and report that provide actionable insights and drive business results. So it will help you to take actions to understand better your data and to know better your result. Based on Wikipedia, it is a business analytics service by Microsoft. So they call it like service because it is not only a product that you have client. There is a service Power BI that you can use on your websites, you can use on Excel, you can use on several tools. It aims to provide interactive visualization and BI capabilities with an interface simple enough for end user to create their own reports and dashboards. So it helps the users in a simple way to create their reports and dashboards. Based on Microsoft, which is the main source and the owner of this product, it is a collection of software, service, apps, and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated source of data into coherent, visually immersive, interactive insight. What does this mean? There is several products or service or apps and connectors for Power BI. All together, they brought to you tools that will bring all your data into a visual and immersive interactive insight. So the purpose is to bring data from different way using their different apps. So you can use Power BI desktop that we are going to use today. You can use Power BI service or even Power BI mobile app. All these you can use them to do your dashboard. So it depends how you prefer to use. So whether your data is a simple Microsoft Excel, or it could be a collection of data coming from cloud or on premise, the Power BI will let you easily to connect your data source, to clean this data, to do some transformation action on the data, and to model your data. So you create this relationship between your data without affecting the underlying source. This is very important because one of the weakness of Excel when you use it for reporting is sometimes if you don't protect your Excel sheet, you can change data. So you cannot know if anybody changed the data. When you bring data to Power BI, you will not affect the source of data. So you will not affect the data as it is on the Excel sheet. You can change your data in Power BI, and this is why we call like transform activities that we do. So cleaning and modeling of data, it is done on your Power BI. So the source, it will kept as is, but when you are bringing this data, you will apply these transformations and these changes to show it the way that you want to understand, to show it to the user or for yourself. So it's very important that when you are not affecting the source of data, you will be able to visualize what is important and share that with anyone or everyone you want. Okay, the most important parts, there is 3 parts in Power BI. It's very important now to start to focus with me because these questions is going to be asked in the test of knowledge. So there is 3 parts of Power BI. The first is the Power BI desktop. So the Power BI desktop, I asked you, everybody's, if you can download this and install it on your PC. It's very important because we are going to use it today. So Power BI Desktop, it is a client you installed on your PC, so you can use it to use Power BI. So this is where you can see this icon. It will open this way. This is Power BI Desktop. Okay, so it is installed on your PC, so you can use. The second part, it's the Power BI service. Power BI service, it is available online. So you go to app.powerbi.com, you can create a user, so you have access to your data any place in the world. You can access it from your PC, from your tablets, from another PC. Just you sign in and you will be able to see your dashboards from online available using this Power BI service. And the third one, and also it's very important, there is a Power BI app. If you didn't already download it, you have this Power BI app. You can also have it available on your mobile. So you can also see all your dashboard that it is published on Power BI services. You can see it on the mobile. So these 3 parts are the most important. The Power BI desktop, Power BI service, it is the online and the service available in Excel or different websites. You can use these web services and the Power BI mobile tools. These are the 3 parts that it is related to Power BI. The workspaces. Workspaces, are the containers for dashboards, reports, data sets, and data flows. So بقلب workspace, this is what we call, it is a place it is available on Power BI online. So it is not available, you don't have workspace on the desktop version. The workspace, it is available on the Power BI online. You see, you have here something called workspaces and my workspace. So there is two type of workspaces. There is workspaces, it is where you can share it with you, or some workspace that you bring it from outside. My workspace are the workspace that I have created personally. So this is why you see here inside this workspace, it is, as mentioned in the screen, it is a combination of dashboards, reports, and workbooks, data sets, okay, and data flows. So this is why it is available. It includes dashboards, reports, data sets, and data flow. These are the parts available in workspace. Again, there are two types of workspace. My workspace, created by me, workspaces that I usually collaborate with the others. Data sets, these are terminologies that we are going to see and use much during all the courses of Power BI. So we have workspace non-data sets. Data sets, it is a collection of data that you import or connect to. You can import data, you can import Excel, you can import a list, you can import a SharePoint list, or you can connect to data. So inside this data sets, you will have all these data that you imported from outside or also connect to data sets. موجودة, it is available on Power BI in both. So you see here, we have inside the Power BI desktop the data, and online it's called here data, and on online we have data sets. So you have all the data that it is connected to your dashboards available under the section data sets. Then, and this data source can also can be source of data from data flows. So data فيها تكون جاي من connected directly, or data flows, which are different data that coming from different sources that create for it inside. Now, the reports of Power BI, what we are going to use in Power BI desktop, guys, it is called reports. Dashboards are only available on Power BI service. So terminology تبع اللي أنا what we are going to create here in Power BI desktop are called report. Okay, so even if it looks like dashboard for you, but it is a report. It is a combination of visualizations or visuals that we add here and that show your data in a proper way. But at the end, we call it here reports. Once you publish these reports on your Power BI services, we call it dashboard. So this is the difference. It's not as we already know. Sometimes there is some misunderstanding here that the reports created in Power BI are not called dashboards, are called reports. So what are the reports? It is one or more pages of visualizations, such as line charts, maps, and tree maps, or bar charts, line charts, or any visualization tools. Visualization are also called visuals. يعني هنستعمل when we call visualization or we say visuals, we are mentioning the same things. These are the small objects that we are going to select from the right side on Power BI desktop here. When if just to be more specific, this is the visualization part. We see all these small icons. So these are the visualizations that we are going to use. موجودين حتى if you remember, if you are using Excel, you see that there is a lot of visualization inside Excel. So these are what we call reports in Power BI. Dashboard is something you create in Power BI service, or something a colleague creates in Power BI service and share with you. So dashboards are only created in Power BI services by you or shared to you by your colleagues. This is what we call dashboard. At the end, dashboards, I'm moving on directly in order to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So when you go to Power BI, the dashboards are available, okay, here. So when you click on one of these dashboard on Power BI services, it's going to show you this dashboard that is already created and shared from. It could be created here. You can create your dashboard on the Power BI services, or you can create reports in Power BI desktop and publish it to your dashboard. Okay, so you can create it either in Power BI services. This is where you create dashboard, or you can create reports, several reports, then you publish them as dashboard. But in order to publish them as dashboard, you need this the pro version of Power BI. Okay, so the dashboard, it is the created on Power BI services. It is a single canvas that contains 0 or more tiles and widgets. It includes different tiles and widgets. Now, with Power BI desktop, what we are going to use today, what we can do, users can first connect to data. This is the first step. So whenever we want to start Power BI, the first step is to connect data. So you have to get data. You can get data from several places we're going to see. Then after you connect your data to your data, you have to transform and model the data. So you connect with it, then you can transform as all these changes that you can do or you apply on your data in addition to the modeling part before you create your visual charts and graphs. So you connect to data, then you transform and model the data. After that, you create charts and graphs. So you create reports, which is a collection of visuals. You share this report or you publish it as dashboard using the Power BI services. So it's very important that to understand this Power BI desktop. I'm gonna show you quickly before I move on in this the rest of slides what is Power BI. But at this stage, you can you can just watch and do not start applying because I'm gonna give you time to apply. So this is the Power BI desktop. Okay, when you log in, you if you have a user already online that you can use Power BI services, you have sign in inside this. It usually use your office account, or you can create a new Power BI online. Okay, so as you see here, the first button is get data. So the first section, the first action is you can get data. You can get data from Excel or Power BI data sets or Power BI data flows. As we said, there is objects called data flow, or SQL directly. You can connect directly to SQL or analysis service. This is also analysis service from SQL Server database. You can connect data, get data from text or CSV, or from web if you would like to have directly data from a web page, or data feed. This is once it's also used for Dynamics. Whenever we connect to Dynamics, we can use this all data feeds, or you can start a blank query. So this blank query, it will you can start and you build inside all this the query when you are building your dashboard, or you can click on more. You will see that Microsoft, they in this Power BI version, as you will be using later hatta, when you click on get more, you have a lot of other sources already built or created by design by Power BI, and you can connect to your Zendesk, you can connect to SharePoint, you can connect to Active Directory, to Exchange, to Hadoop, you can connect to Facebook, to Twitter, to Azure, all services. So you have a lot of connector already, Sybase, SAP, Oracle database, Access database. So you will see that you have a lot of connection available in data. So the first action is get data. And in this example, I'm gonna use Excel. Okay, so when I click on Excel, the system will tell me, please, where is your Excel? So you have to select your Excel. You can select this financial sample that I have already in my available on my PC. So when you click on this Excel, you see that the first section, the first action, which is get data, is now done. So when you click on sheet one, you have all your data available here. Okay, So I have to select first from which sheets, because Excel, as you know, it might include different sheets. You can select both of them, or you can select one of them. Okay. Now, this first step is connect to data. So I'm connecting my Power BI now to this Excel sheets. It will not affect the source of, I'm not going to change anything from Excel. I can work on the Excel after it is brought to Power BI. This is why I have here something called load or transform data. So as you remember, we said connect to data, the first step, then transform and model the data. So now the section is transform data. What I can do with this, if I would like to do transform or to work on my data, I click on transform data. If I don't want to change anything on data, I can click load, or directly this data will enter to Power BI. But I'm going to show you the transform step in a very easy way now. Okay, so I connected to data. I have the data now in Power Query Editor. So this object, it's a tool, it's very important tools. It's called Power Query Editor. Even in Excel, when you bring data from outside and you want to edit on this data, you can have this, it will open Power Query Editor. So here I have all the fields coming from the sheets itself. And you will see that you have, for example, the type of this field column. It is this one is decimal. The 1 to 3 is it is a number itself. The ABC is text. So based on this 1.2 is decimal again. Based on this icon showed or symbol, I can know the type of data. For example, if I have here the none discount band or product, I can change anything within this data before it goes to Power BI. How I can do this? For example, if I would like to change all cartera, sorry, and I would like to put like another name. I would like to change this name because this name was not anymore valid. So what I do usually, I right click on this column
Excuse
and
me, Muhammad.
yes,
Excuse me. Can we enlarge a bit the screen so we can see a bit more of the details?
يا هلا انا
So
انتم
this way,
بالفيو
maybe it can help.
باللاي اوت you can click on the 3 points down, change layout. So I can put here side. Okay, now it's better. I can change it yourself because I think you have to click yourself on these 3 points and
Okay.
click on full screen and change layout to see more the part of the screen. But
Okay.
أنا okay,
Right.
this is
Okay.
something that
Thanks,
can.
Muhammad. All
Okay.
right.
So again, I'm the transform, so I can right click on the header and say, I can here replace. I can click on replace values. What I will do هون كيف ال value to find كيف ال replace in Excel. I can put the caretera, okay, and I will replace it with CAR, for example, okay, or caret, just to show you how I can do. So I would like to minimize this to make it like caret in place of caretera. When I click OK, you will see that all values of caretera are changed to caret, okay, only. So here also I have caret. This step that I did, it is mentioned here, replaced value. So if I would like to move back, I can delete this. If I did it by mistake, I can delete this and I can go back. You see here, I have Carretera again. So again, because I took a shot from data, I have my data still saved in the temp file. So I can click on replace. Again, I'm gonna show you this caret. So sorry, caret. Okay, so I have here this step done again. Now if I change, I can do all my changes that I would like to do on any of this. I can remove, for example, if there is any null, I can remove empty. So if I have any sales price below 7, I can remove these. Okay, so I can apply all changes that I want to do on this. This is what we call transform activity on the sheet. And I will, when I'm done with this, okay, I will save, close and apply. I'm just doing now an easy changes, just because at this stage we are still in the introduction, because we are going to take more serious cases once we are in the second sessions. Okay, and now I have the data loaded مشان نبلش in order to use the proper terminologies in Power BI. So we did connect to data, we get data, we transform this data, now we load it. When we load this data, you see here I have the section fields. This sheet 1 is available for me. Okay, I have all these columns that I have, the number, all number fields or columns that are numbers. We see here this like some icons. I can change this sheet 1 to finance. I can change the name. I put finance data, for example, just to make it more acceptable for me. Where I can see the data that is loaded, this is the section that I'm here is what we call report. I have another section called data. When I click on it, it will show me all the data coming from my Excel. You see here, I have the caret. There is no more caretera anymore. There is caret because I change all values to caret. So this is where I have my data section. The third one is the model. You remember I mentioned that whenever I bring data, I have transform activity and modeling or model. So this is where if I have several sheets or several data coming from different source, I can do like relationship between them. So for example, إذا أنا عندي customer code, I have here only customer code, and I don't have the customer name, I can add the customer table and put like relation between customer code in this transactional data to customer code and customer table. So whenever I select the customer code, I can show also customer name in my data. So I can add more values to my reports based on this relationship in a very smart way. Okay, so this part in model, we are going to see it in the sessions, the session 2 and 3, we are going to do relationship between data. So now what I did is I get connected to data, I load this data and transform the data, I did the changes and I see it here. But if I go back to my, I'm going to just show you that I'm not affecting the Excel sheet itself. So if I go back to online training, 21, okay, so here I have this, the finance, the financial reports, the finance sample. This is the sheet from where I brought it. It is not affected. It is still as is. So because I'm telling you, showing you that the source, it will not be affected when, so I still have Caritera here. Okay, so when I work on the transformation in Power BI here, this data that I changes, it applies on data that brought here to Power BI, but not affect the source. And every time you refresh, when you click on refresh of your data, here we have click on refresh. What this refresh will do, will connect back to this Excel sheets and will do all these transform of data activity that you saved inside your sheet, and it will do this transform activity and it will bring you data fixed as is. So if you have added a new line with Caretera, it will change this Caretera to Caret. So every time you refresh your data, it will do applies on old data and the new data itself. Okay, هذه الشغلة the advantage. Yes.
Excuse me, Muhammad. Okay, so basically, if I'm doing a refresh, it goes both way. That is, if I've done some changes on my Excel, I will get it on my dashboard and if on my Power BI, and if I changed on my Power BI, it will reflect back on Excel.
Let me tell you, no, it will not affect the Excel for any reason. And this is why I mentioned this, and that in Power BI we will not touch the source of data. So you cannot
Okay, so
change Dynamics data in Power BI, and you cannot change Excel data in from Power BI. You will change it to show it differently. Okay, so you apply this change on your Power BI database, because there is a database for specific for Power BI. So it will bring this data from Excel. You have it on Power BI. You did this transform and you show it. So this activity that the change of Carretera to Caret, it is not affected on Excel. You will not touch your source of data. This is the Power BI concept. This is the
Okay.
main
So
concept.
by refreshing mainly, it's only if I change anything on Excel, it will upload it to me on my Power BI.
It is very important question. The refresh, it will bring all changes from Excel, and it will apply all actions that you saved in your transform, the Power Editor query. It applied these changes on this new data brought to Excel, and it will load the data. So yes,
So it will not cancel my changing from Carretera to
exactly,
Caret on Power
exactly.
BI. I don't
It will
have
not
to do
cancel.
that again
It will not.
one more time, right?
It will not cancel all the changes that you applied. If you would like to import the Excel again as is, you have to get data again. If you'd like to without, or you go to transform and delete this activity. Okay,
Not a
so
problem.
at any time, if I would like to change my transform, I click here in transform data. It will open for me this data that it comes, and all the steps, applied steps, are still here. I can remove it. This is the beauty.
Okay.
It's all saved.
Let
رجعت
me just
فرع. Yeah, it's very important because your question, because it's something that it always comes to our mind. So you see, I deleted the step. I have Carretera again. If I click close and apply, I will have now in my data inside Power BI Carretera, because I deleted this transform. So this is the beauty that Power BI, you see here, I have Carretera. So it will change all these transform activities that you saved here. It will keep it for you at any time. If you would like to change them or remove them or to apply more, you can just click to transform data, add more steps or remove all steps, and load your data. When you finish, you can close and apply. Close and apply would mean that it will apply these steps that you have mentioned, apply steps, and load your data. So it's very important that in Power BI desktop, you have, yeah, and you have, it's very important to understand the concept, because once you know the concept, all the other things are how to master visualizations. And like there is a script, there is something DAX, there is some additional tools in Power BI, but the main concept is very simple. You connect to data first, as we mentioned. So we have connected to Excel here. We transform data, so we apply certain changes, okay, and we model the data, we do relationship, then we start creating charts. What is the إذا حدا هيك, if you just try to think like me about this, the importance of the such things availability in Power BI, in case, for example, you have your sales in the system, but you don't have area, for example. Okay, if your customer, your current customer info, there is no area inside. Okay, what will happen? I'm just gonna talk with you here now about it. So if I have sales transactions, I have customer, I have all data in my database, but I don't have area because I don't have the area field in customer card. What you can do, example, you can export your customers to Excel, for example, and add area to all these customers. Then you bring this this Excel sheet to Power BI, and you do relationship between the customer number and the sales entry. So you will be able to see your sales by area, while you don't have this area field inside your uh, your ERP. And this will be done for all the future reports. So if you miss any fields in your ERP, you don't need to do changes or to have this big headache. You don't have to worry, because you can add it. You can create a new table in SQL or in Excel or SharePoint and put this new field. You put the customer code, then you link it in Power BI, so you will be able to have better analysis for you. So this is the beauty about it, and this is the flexibility of Power BI to add this later on. Okay, so I'm gonna just complete my that, but I wanted to show you how easy this what I'm talking about is to apply on Power BI itself. So we saw that I can connect to data easily. It's not something that needs advanced tools. We are talking also, guys, the Power BI. It is done with minimum IT background. So I can swear to you that there is a lot of customers, they use Power BI and they don't have any IT background. Okay, only the data modeling part, the relationship, it start to, the skills need to be a little bit ameliorate once you start using on Power BI. But connecting to data, it's something that everybody knows now. So you connect to data, you transform your data, so you apply changes, you can remove null, you can remove, for example, lines with wrong data. If you have any wrong values that used to have to be inside your, and this is also a very important point that I would like also to mention. Okay, so resume slideshow. If I have, for example, data that is already wrong in my database, so I can apply these changes in Power BI and save this transform activity. And later on, all future reports, it will be done properly. So, but the data in your ERP are still wrong. There is still some old data, there is still wrong customer name, for example, in your ERP. But when this data come to Power BI, because you applied certain changes, so whenever you publish, you refresh your report, all this data will be showed properly. So if your customer name was wrong, okay, and you have a lot of customer, usually when you do it on ERP, if the ERP is not handling this properly, you will see the wrong customer name. In Power BI, it is solved by this transform on these data. Okay, so transform and model data. Then you create chart, graphs, create reports that are collections of visuals. And this is what we are going to see. And share reports with other using the Power BI services. Holy Killon, these are all the steps that you can do using Power BI desktop. This is very strong tools that we are going to use in all the sessions that for this training. Okay. Now, Power. So we know what is Power BI. It's a very it's easy for us. We know workspace, dashboards, data sets, reports. Now visuals. أو اللي هن visualizations. Visuals are attractive chart and graphics that you can use to revitalize your data. So show your data in a really nice way. The later technologies, later layout, there is a 3D maps, there is a lot of visuals new to Power BI. Visuals allow you to share data insights more effectively and increase comprehension. So now by just adding certain colors to your dashboard, guys, you will understand data properly. Sometimes, for example, when you show that this result are positive, the first impression of the users, positive is always good. While, for example, having positive corona COVID test, it is something bad. So it's not always positive is good or something greater than 100 is good. So you can show this color of your data, add certain visual effects. It will help you to understand better and to have this data or dashboard or reports more comprehensive, and it will have to enhance retention and appeal of your reports. Visuals are a fundamental part of your reports because they help you and the audience to connect and interact with the information to make informed decisions quickly. So these visuals, you can add these visualizations or visuals items to reports. So you can select from the visualization section to your report. So you can see these beautiful icons or beautiful part of the graph inside your data in a very easy way in Power BI. Just I'm gonna show you Heike, how you can play with data in a very easy way now in few minutes. Add visualization, add to report. So you can, when you add this visual item, you will have you have certain icons for this icon pan for visualization, and you have different type of visuals. There is charts, maps, cards, table, matrix, and many more. So you will see that inside, and you can add a lot of customized visualization. Okay, so this visualization section inside your Power BI is available here. So this section is for visualization, and it is not limited to only this. And if you think for a few seconds, you'll see that we have only these icons. No, guys, you have a lot of much more. You can import visuals, get more visuals. When you click on get more visuals, it will take you, Power BI will take you to this marketplace. We call it marketplace of visuals. Okay, so you will see a lot of other available visualization or visuals. So you have timeline, we have tachometer, we have gauge, we have timeline storyteller, table, heat map. You have a lot of other visualization. And if we let me slides, if you take for example the slides, because the slides itself is not very advanced, you have different slicer. Okay, or slicer, sorry. If I click on slicer, you see here I had hierarchical filter, pie chart tree, drill down. So you have different options that you can see here. I have calendar. When you have this icon, this certified, like the blue one is now very popular on social media. This means that this visuals are certified or are tested by Microsoft, and you can rely on the source of it. So they know the source, because there is anybody now can create visuals and put on the marketplace. But when there is this icon of the blue one, is this that is tested and verified by Microsoft. So when you click on this visuals, it will give you certain information beyond soft calendar, so you can add it here. All these visuals that you add was successfully added, it will be added in this section under your standard visuals. So you have these visualizations, and this section, it will add all your custom visuals that you added. But be careful that these visuals are added only by sheet. Yani if you created a new file for Power BI, when you are inside this, when you save this at the end, okay, you can save all your work in Power BI file. So these visuals are saved inside the files. When you create a new file, you will not see these visuals. You have to import them again. So this is the only drawback. I don't know if you can call it drawback, but this is something that you have to be aware about, that these visuals are not available. Once you import them, it's not going to be available in all your visuals. Now, before I go to the second model, which is Dynamics 365 Getting Ready, I'm going to show you something that you can start using it from day one. Okay, but just I have one question. Anybody do not have now already Power BI on your PC? يعني somebody has this not available. ما هسأل مين عنده, because it's better to ask who doesn't have the Power BI. So please, but just make sure to have your Power BI installed on your PC, because we need to use it in all the coming sessions. Okay, so the first thing that you can use from now, we have something called question Q&A. This is a very beautiful section. When you add it, you see that automatically the Power BI will start creating for you certain questions that is done based on certain artificial intelligence inside the Power BI, that will analyze your data based on the column name and the type of data. It will propose for you certain data. You see here I have count countries, number of countries, total profit over time, total sales over time. I can show all suggestion. It will show you total discount over time, most recent finance data, how many products are there. So when these are the questions that you can ask regarding your data and build your reports. You can select one of them. Let's say I would like to see total profit by segment. When I click on it, you will see that my Power BI automatically, okay, will suggest for you, you see, it will suggest for you a graph for you. It is showing for me automatically. They they selected this, and they selected the proper graphs based on the data type. Okay. and they showed the profit by segment. This is very beautiful. This reports now you can add it, turn this Q&A result to graph. So you see when I click on this, so now I have profit by segment created for me. So you can when you start with your data, if you are not if you don't know what to do with your data or what to show as part of your charts, you can use this very powerful tools. I always use it when I use this data. So just let me go back. I'm gonna click outside this and add another questions. Okay, you can also ask questions. So for example, I would like to see total sales by, when I put total sales, you see the system is showing me directly total sales by period. Okay, it's showing me by date. Very nice, man. You see here, it is showing me now a trend, showing all the sales for me in a trend way. It's really nice. It used automatically this trend report charts, and I can turn this Q&A into a graph. So I have two reports: profit by segment, sales by date. It's already built for me. I can add it automatically to my dashboard without a lot of efforts. So this Q&A, I can add more. So I can add, like you see here, number of countries. It will show me number now. Okay, so I have how many number of countries. I can turn this into card. So this is what we call card reports, okay, or card part of the report. So now this is a report for me. It's not a dashboard. In Power BI, this is called report. And this is the page one. I can add several pages to my reports here. So the page one, I'm gonna call it financial analysis. So I can add this here, financial analysis, for example. Okay, so I can add more, like more Q&A. So what type of it's proposing for me? I can see the total sales over time. So this is the number. Okay, total. I can see the total sales, for example. This is the number. I have 118 million of sales. So this is very nice. You can I built a dashboard showing for it's I built a report, what we call it dashboard in our terminology before, but it is a report, okay, in a very easy way in 2 minutes using certain tools like Q&A, and it showed me 4 parts inside this reports. Okay, so this is very important tools that we can use it, and we can change the layout, the way I can change also this graph. If I don't like, for example, this side, I can change this report to another layout just by clicking the visuals. So I can move from a visual to another. You see here, it showed me the segments, government, small. This is what we call tree map. So moving from a visual to another, it is very easy in Power BI, just by selecting which visuals from this section. It will move directly this graphs already to this so by selecting the right visuals. So I can select the funnel, for example. The funnel is always used for three part. Okay, we are going to talk more once we are going to build more and more reports inside this visuals. Okay, so regarding what is Power BI as a model, do you have any question? It is clear now that Power BI, it is really tools, analytical tools, okay, that we use to connect to different data source in an easy way, and to show these data, to connect to data, transform and model our data, then visualize our data properly, to help users to understand easily, to have better insights to our user, to use for data, to have better insights for data. So do you have any question regarding this? What is Power BI itself?
I guess
Yes.
so far it's clear. We will have to see later on when we start using it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that it's always easy when you see somebody working on Power BI, especially if it's somebody has a practice on it a long time. But believe me, I started showing you the most easy visual because you can start using it from day one. يعني اليوم today you can just connect to your data and start use the Q&A before understanding all the proper available visuals and starting this. So I personally, my main recommendation always is to practice while you are taking any training, even after the session. So always keep time for your practice. Now, because we care about that you understand or you get benefits of our training, so we always have at the end of each model like test of knowledge quickly. It will give us an indication if you understood all the points covered during the session. Okay, so I need you please just to move to go to your classwork. Okay, to open the classwork. At the end of module 1 we have something called what is Power BI module 1. We have this module 1 test of knowledge. If you refresh the page now, you will see that you have this model 1 already published because it is scheduled to be published now. If you don't have it, I don't know why it is showing me that it has to be published as uh, 15. So you can see it published, the model 1 test of knowledge.
No, not yet.
Okay, I'm just making sure that everybody has this. I will publish it. I will try to change time because that's be in the future. هي لازم محطوط 415 already. أنا عندي 418, so it must be published. I don't know why still it is not publishing. Okay, I'm gonna.
هلا بينت.
Okay, so now it showed me that it is published. So please just take like 7 minutes just to, you have like 10 questions. Okay, just please, if anybody is facing issue with accessibility, it will just let me know, because sometimes because you are using users outside, I'm gonna remove. Just now it will work because it changed directly to restricts user. I put it back to allow it to you. So please just log into this, click on this model, put your email address, because just to make sure that we sometimes it does not show the name properly, or sometimes you are using emails that are not or the name of your user is not very meaningful for us. So please just put the email address and start answering. You have 10 questions, very easy questions that we covered during our presentation. Please have this test of knowledge just to make sure, in order, because we review all time all test of knowledge at the end of the session. If there is anything that was not clear, not all of you answered correctly, so we covered again just to make sure that you get the best benefits of our training. Okay,
Still restricted.
it's still restricted. Just can you refresh? No, I just added. It is allowed, sorry. Please بس can you just refresh لأنه أول شيء كانت it was not allowed to anybody from outside. Scroll up now. I changed this. في حدا ما بيقدر او حدا قدر؟ المفروض they have access. Recording the session from now. So this is now we are going to cover the module 2 of the course. So we finished the module 1, what is Power BI. Now we are going to cover the module 2 is getting Dynamics 365 ready for Power BI. Okay, here for Dynamics it's a little bit different between product to another. Okay, هلا usually in Power BI you have 4 way to access Power BI data from Dynamics. Okay, so هلا I'm gonna mention all of them. Okay, so for Business Central, or what is known as Dynamics Nav, okay, it is now 365 Business Central. The 4 way are you can connect to SQL, okay, directly. So this it applies to all Dynamics products. So you can connect to SQL with if your user has connection to SQL for Dynamics 365 Business Central, for CRM, Finance and Operation, and Dynamics Nav, and all other products. Okay, so أول part اللي هي to SQL is common للكل. الO data is something that you can use for Business Central or Nav and for Dynamics Finance and Operation. We have also الانستنس بالبزنس سنترال we can connect directly through a special instance inside Nav, or you can connect إذا كان if you are using Dynamics CRM or Business Central online, you can use the connector of Power BI directly to Dynamics. I'm gonna show you now. Okay, but the last one and the easiest one is from Excel. So you export your data from any Dynamics solution. You have always in all Dynamics 365, you have export to Excel or copy to Excel, copy rows and paste rows. So you can export your data from Dynamics 365 to Excel and bring Excel data to Power BI. At any time, if you refresh your Excel in a way that gets more data from Dynamics, you can see this update also in Power BI. I'm gonna show you this part now. Okay, before we consider the complicated part, which is Dynamics 365 Business Central new instance, I'm gonna show you how we connect the other points, the other 3 points. Okay, I'm gonna click on new because I don't want to use this dashboard. Okay, so it will enter now again. It will give me a blank sheets of Power BI or blank file. Okay, هلا it is loading. تاخد شوية few seconds. خاصة إن أنا I have a lot of things opened. Okay, I'm inside Business Power BI. I'm gonna close the other one just in order not to have a conflict. I'm not going to save because it's going to be easy for me. So when you open Power BI, it's always this question. You can remove, show the screen on startup. This question, it shows you some certain videos, how to build reports, uploading reports, create a phone report, and mobile. What's new? You have all this Power BI blogs. And you can see also the recent sources, or you can click directly get data من هون. أنا حسكر. I always prefer to close. Okay, add data to your report. Okay, so import data from SQL. If you would like to connect directly to SQL, okay, you must have the server name and database optional. Okay, so data connectivity mode here. You have also 2 options. You can import, يعني it's like Excel. It will import data, and you can do transform and load, or you can have direct query. Direct query, you connect directly to this data. Okay, so it will changes here. Automatic changes applies when you have this direct query. So if there is any change in SQL وحاطين انتو automatic refresh after كل 10 minutes لحالها, automatically the data will be refreshed. So this is the difference between direct query. But in all case, you will have for your experience as if you want in front of you, will have data in front of you in both cases. So the SQL server, you need to add SQL server name and database, and أكيد for sure you need to have the users itself. I'm not gonna go deeply because it applies the same way على the other method. I'm gonna show you the others. Okay, you can paste data into a blank table. If you have you copied data, you can paste here. For example, there is a sample data set حتى if you would like to try with something in Excel. We saw how we can import Excel. If you would like to get data from Dynamics, you click on get data more. Okay, so I clicked on get data and more, the option more. Here you put Dynamics, for example. When you put Dynamics, you have 5 options. The first one, Dynamics 365 Online, you can use it if you'd like to connect to CRM, okay, or Dynamics 365 Business, the CRM, or Finance and Operation, okay. The other one, the nav, this one, if you'd like to connect to nav or Business Central, the new version of nav. يعني now you see here, it's the same icons. You have Business Central on premise. This one is on the Business Central on premise. This is Dynamics Nav connected to Dynamics 365 Business Central. So if you have on-premise Business Central, you can use this. If you are using Business Central online, you select this one. Or this customer insight, but this one also, it's like CRM. It's a small part, specific part of CRM to have a certain connector for certain data already built in within the CRM, but it will not give you access to all Dynamics 365 CRM. Okay, so for in your example, if you would like to connect to CRM, you just select this one, you click connect, and here you paste your CRM URL because it is online for your online CRM, okay? Or it must be online in all case if you would like to connect to Power BI from CRM to Power BI. Either you have the online of Microsoft or you have this online deployment of your dynamic CRM. So you have in both cases, you have to put this web API URL that you take it from your admin. So you paste it here, and it will ask you for your username and password the first time. Then it will load the tables. I'm gonna show you later once you load what is going to show. هلا for the Business Central part, okay, so the Dynamics Nav and Business Central part, what you can do. You have the first option. You can go to Web Services, and you have here web services. This web services, it includes all the data that you have. It is published. Published, that means you can see it from outside Dynamics 365 Business Central. It is the same for Nav. If you have Nav, you go to web services and you have this same table including all your web services. The first option, which is the easiest one, you copy this OData v4 URL. You can right click, copy, okay? Then you go this one, I'm gonna see employees, okay? This is the employees page. I go to Power BI Business Central. I click here, get data, or data feed. I'm connecting, this is the it's a solution to connect with Dynamics 5 through O data feed. You paste your O data here and you click OK. So automatically the system will show you the data that comes from inside. I have only here eight employees. Okay. So again, this data I have load and I have transform data. Why I have these options? Because I will not touch the data as it comes from Dynamics. So I have employees. If I cannot change the name of Annette Hill here, okay? So if I would like to remove, for example, the middle name of Marie, I can click on transform data. I can select this middle name, replace value. I will replace at point with nothing. Okay, I removed it. So you see here, I can click, I can remove the column itself. Okay, I can delete this column. I don't want a middle name in my report, for example. So when I finish this transform, you see here it replaced value, removed column, while I did something dummy because I could remove column without replacing values. But I can do this again. When I load here, the system, it is loading data that is brought from Dynamics 365 Business Central through OData technology. Okay, it's like ODBC. It is tools that I can bring. You see here, I have the query, because it's called query. I can change the name. I put employee. When I double click on the sheet's name, so I can remove it. If I would like to see the data itself, I go to data section and I see here all my data. Okay. Hala, this is the beauty here is what? In case at any time I went to Business Central and an employee, which is a human resource, I have a new employee. Okay, I will put MB Mohamad Barada. Okay, so Muhammad here, first name, and middle name, there is no, sorry, I put Muhammad and last name Barada. Okay, senior trainer. Okay, now I have a new employees in Dynamics 5. When I go to my Power BI, if I click refresh, okay, so I must have this new employee available here. You see here I have MB Muhammad Barada. So all the changes that are available in Dynamics Business Central, while just refreshing my dashboard, it will bring data automatically from Business Central or Dynamics Nav. I can also schedule when I put on dashboard to have automatic refresh. Okay, so the easiest way in Business Central to have data is to have this O data. Okay, so connector to O data. Again كيف بعملها؟ بكبس على O data feed. Okay, وبس this will help me to do what? To connect with one by one. يعني I can connect to one data connector زي ما بدكم per at a time. Okay, كأنه حدا put a question. It will take too long. The first time it might not, but seconds. يعني عم نحكي نحن هون seconds. It's very advanced technology when loading. The refresh عادة doesn't take much. It could be done in backward. So بس loading data لا. خاصة the beauty is I'm connected to one for example connector here. So to one source of data. So I put customer, I have already loaded employees. If I would like also to load, for example, vendors, okay, so I can see here, if I have vendors, I have vendor here already created. I can select Camel O data. I can go and add vendor to my list here. I can load automatically. So having load, it will take automatically data. So I'm trying to show you that I will connect one by one, but I can have all my data here. So أنا have هلا vendor employees. I can see here employees. If I would like to see vendor data, I click on vendor. It will show me here data. Okay, so ال O data اللي هي موجودة ك O data feed, it is, you can do it one by one. You can do it with what? You can do it either with query or page. Okay, اللي هن available in web services. But you can add more. And this is what we are going to see in how we prepare data in the model, in model 3. Okay, بالمodel 3 we are going to cover how we prepare data to be added to Power BI. So I can add more pages or query or reports. So you can have this source from Business Central. I'm going, this is the O data. So again, the O data, بس مشان if you would like to watch again the video, so you go to and search to web services, and you select one of these available object type. Okay, you take this O data v4, you copy it, and you paste it here when you click get data or data feed in the URL, and you click OK. أنا هلا I have copied what the jobs. Okay, so I have list of jobs I can load. So it's very easy to have my data inside from Business Central. Okay, if there is any here view errors. Okay, so there was error, and when promoting the jobs. Okay, this one, the jobs apply, because the query was still open while I didn't close it, so I just have to close both. Okay, so now I have the job, I have the vendor, I can call it here, rename the query one to job. So, and all data are available inside. That's when I change the name. You see here, these are the jobs. But just let me close. There was error in invoice date. Okay, so I have the job here, and I have the vendors and employees. So I can bring data from Business Central. This is the easiest way, by the OData. This one, you can use it for the standard instance available in Dynamics Now. There is another way, okay, if you have to connect directly to Business Central. When you go to get data and click more, so this is the last type of connection that you usually do. The difference is this type of connection that I'm going to use, the on-premise, okay, it's going to load for you all available tables and page and query that you saw. So when I click Business Central on-premise, okay, I'm using on-premise. I click connect. Okay, here it will ask for OData URL. and if there is any company. From where I bring this OData URL, this one, it has to be provided by your nav admin or Business Central admin, where usually you can see it. Inside the Business Central, there is Business Central administration or nav administration. It's exactly the same. Okay, so when you go to business or administration, you must have an instance with specific for Power BI. Okay, you must create an instance for Power BI. This is the complicated part that I told you already. There is anybody here with background admin or technical in Dynamics Nav? They know about the administration and the instance. حدا بيعرف؟
يعني مش انا على كل حال.
اوكي، انا مشان هيك انا كانت هي بارت من التريننج على فكره، هي كيف تعمل how to create the instance and the certificate. I'm going to skip this during this session بس to not lose your time because you're not going to do this step. You must have access to admin, but I'm going to record it as a video how to do it so you can share it with your admin. Okay, he must provide you at the end with the URL. Okay, so in order to have a proper connection with Business Central um, properly, you need this URL that I'm going to show you. So he has to do the work to create this instance. What he has to provide you, he has to give you the OData service that is here called OData base URL. Okay, so he must copy this URL for you and give it to you. I'm gonna copy this and paste it in my OData URL. You see here, it is usually the server name, the port of the Power BI instance, and the Power BI. See the difference here. Look at the difference. When you click OK, the system, it's going to create this bridge with connector with Dynamics NAV, and I have the company, Kronos. When I click on the company, I have now all the page and the query that I have access to it in front of me. So this is the beauty. يعني اليوم بتقلي what is the difference? The OData feed you can select one by one. You can take the customer, you can take vendor and paste it. So you have to work on several sheets. While and also one very important remark, when you bring data an OData feed, not always the column of data is not always proper. يعني number, they might not be number decimal in Power BI. So the number fields, or if you have any, let's say, balance of the customer, it will not show you the proper field. I'm gonna just cancel here. For example, if you see the vendor here, okay, no, I don't have employee. There is no difference between if there is any number or text. And usually number must have like some in front of these data. So this is when you click on all data, you might not have, it might work sometimes. There is no regular general rules, but when you connect to Business Central, as I showed you here, I go again to home, get data, I click on more, you just ask the admin to give you the OData URL. This is something that usually it is provided because it has specific permission. It gives you permission just for the data that you are able to connect with. You paste this URL here. When you click on it, you have you have access to all your tables. Now I can select one or different one. And I can select, for example, I'm gonna show you. For example, I'm gonna select customer ledger entries, which is very, very big table usually. Okay, I can select customer for training. Okay, customer for training شو حاطط فيها? It is something that I use usually. It include customer name, email, region, okay, and customer ledger entries. So this one, I can select also مثلا item ledger entries. Okay, so I can select different I see here value entries, vendor ledger entries. I have a lot of data that I can add for this. When I finish, I can load automatically, or either I can also transform here. So transform, I can apply certain changes. Okay, I'm gonna click on load because we are going to use transform in future practice when the session 2 and session 3. Today is the most important is to get the business center ready to use for Power BI. So you see here it is loading now 3 tables. They are very big tables, huge tables. They ask the question because it usually take times. The first time, yes, see in 20 seconds they are loaded. You see here, and the difference now, as you see, there is the name of the query or pay. It comes directly. So item ledger entry, customer for training. If I would like to see the data, I can go to customer ledger entries. And you see here, I have this remark symbol of sum near to amount. Okay, so if there is a date, there is this icon of date. Always the date, it is in Power BI divided into year, quarter, month, day. لهيك اقدر اشوف انا I can do my own analysis by month, by quarter, by year automatically when it is connected properly with this connector. The date it comes with this hierarchy. Okay, so I have now my data customer ledger entry هي most important table for my customer إذا بدكم analysis, right؟ يعني أنا اليوم بالكاستمر فيني أعرف قد إيه بايع السيلز بيرسون، قد إيه عندي due amount، قد إيه عندي remaining amount. Okay, so this will help me much for the customer posting groups. So all the fields that might need me are there. So sir, I have now connected my data to the recent data source بتكون باينة. لاحظوا recent sources صارت موجودة. At any time I can always click back. When I select this recent source, it will automatically connect to my data source and it will open for me the navigator which includes all column data اللي أنا عندي إياهم. Okay, so all columns again data it might comes from page or query or reports. Okay, there is 3 objects. So this is getting ready. In order to get ready the Power BI Dynamics 365 in center to Power BI, okay, there is 4 steps. First one, you have to install Dynamics 365 Business Central because we are talking about the Business Central on premise. If it is online, you don't need to install. So you skip the step 1 if you are connecting to Dynamics 365 online. In case of CRM or Business Central. Okay, in order to set up the Business Central on premise for Power BI integration, okay, you must have, as I said, instance specific for Power BI. The instance must have nav user's password and there is certificate uploaded. I have included in this PowerPoint all steps required. Also, you can share with your admin so he can do this step. All I did it, I made it step by step. Okay, but in your case, I'm not gonna cover it because it will be loss of time. Then you have Business Central, set it up, and if there is already instance available, they must only, if you do not want to connect directly to Business Central to Power BI, you must have only this OData enable OData service. So this one, if you would like to copy the OData as I showed you in the first example, just copy paste OData from Business Central to Power BI, you must have this enable OData service ticked. Okay, so you ask if you are not able, if you went, if for example tomorrow, if in the morning you went to Dynamics 5 and you copied this, okay, and you paste it in Power BI and get data or data field and you paste this URL and you put OK. If it gives you any error, this means there is certain problem with your instance. You just ask your admin to enable OData service inside the instance of Dynamics Business Central. This one is, I'm talking about Dynamics Nav on-premise, Dynamics 65 Business Central on-prem. Okay, if it is not on-prem, you can connect automatically by selecting more, get data more, and put here dynamics. You put in the search part dynamics. It's just loading. Okay, here you put dynamics. So it will show you this option. If you would like to connect to CRM, you select Dynamics 365 online. If it is for finance and operation, it's online. For Business Central online, you use this one. Okay. So when you click for example, for CRM, Dynamics 365 online, you just put here the URL and you put okay. The first time they will ask for credential, you put your credential that you are accessing, usually Dynamics CRM. There is any questions? I feel that there is chat. I tried it, it doesn't. Yes, and for sure, you are using to access Dynamics Nav desktop, remote desktop.
اي
Okay, this is
نحن
security.
بنعمل connections through remote desktop صح.
Okay, so this is, I think there is a security between, هلا أنت you logged in into the remote.
Yes.
So what you
And
have to do.
I copied the URL
Yeah.
into Power BI and it gave me.
But the Power BI is on your PC.
Yes.
So what you
Yes,
have to
it's
do,
on.
you have to install your Power BI on your remote, under the remote desktop.
Okay, on the server you mean.
Because يعني هلا there is a security problem between your remote. If it is لو كان حتى even if it was remote, but the online you have a real IP or online IP access, you could also do it from your PC. But because there is maybe security here permission, your server are not published online totally. You cannot access directly from your PC. Especially that you have remote access. So you have to go to remote access, install Power BI and use Power BI on the PC that has access. Okay?
Noted. Okay.
So it's very important, please, guys, to try it. If not now, after the session or tomorrow, because we have this tomorrow, try to connect your Power BI to your Dynamics products. So to make sure that we have all we can apply the other assignments and practical cases. So in order to be able, so you have, again, you have to either Business Central online or Dynamics 365 online, and you have to install Power BI desktop client on, you لاحظت هون شوي سبات يمكن بس كنت جاي عليها, on a PC that has connection to your Dynamics product. So it must be on a PC that has connection to this Dynamics product. So if it is online, it's great. يعني it's available online and on SaaS. يعني by Microsoft Online, available by Microsoft Online. It's great. You can have access because there is no problem. It's already published online. If it is on your server, you need to double check that your server is published online totally, or if there is VPN or remote desktop, they must install Power BI either on VPN, if it is a VPN connection, or on remote desktop, so or Citrix, or on inside the remote section. Then the step 4, you check data connection. So you have to apply your check data once you would like to test your data. These are the steps that you have to do in case you would like to create an instance with Nav users for Power BI. This I said I'm gonna skip this. So I'm gonna profit of the time in order to build dashboard using the data that I have already brought from Dynamics 365. So we're gonna do practice on this. Okay, so the first example that I'm gonna use now, you have to do it before the end of the session. So please now focus with me. The easiest one, you can go to customer. I'm gonna go to vendor. Okay, guys. In Dynamics Business Central. You can do this with any of your data, يعني Dynamics. If you have Dynamics CRM, please come in, you can follow. You can go to accounts, for example. Okay, you can apply it on any of the data that you have available. You see here, all the column that I have balance due, and balance payment LCY, okay, and all my vendor. I can choose add column here if I would like to, for example, the currency. I can add it to my list. I can add, for example, the location. Location is already there. I don't know if there is two type. Okay, and payment terms, for example. Okay, that so I have in front of me a list of all vendors. Okay, the first step, the easiest one to do is I can send this vendor to Excel. I'm not using now the OData methods. It's going to be directly the second practical case that I'm going to show you. But the beauty in this sheet that is available here, okay, it is connected with Nav, and you can refresh, right? And at any time, if you add any vendor and you refresh, it will be added here. So this vendor is connected to Nav or Dynamics Business Center. I'm gonna save it. You see here there is certain columns and rows that I might not use. Okay, so I'm gonna save this, save as. I'm gonna put it on my PC. I have a folder. Usually this is what I do. I also recommend that you do the same for you. So I have folder specific for this training. So I go to training and workshop. It's online training 2021. This is the public Power BI Dynamics public March 21. Okay. So this one, vendor list from Dynamics, Nav, AU, or 365. Okay. So I have this list. So this you can do it with any Business Central or any Dynamics that you have, sorry, any Dynamics product. So now I have this list saved on my PC. I'm gonna just, for info, copy paste just in order to make it simple for me. So I'm gonna close it. Okay, I go to Power BI now. I can get Excel, import data from Excel. So it will ask me where is your Excel. I will paste the URL. I select vendor list from Dynamics Nav. So you see here, you see when you export from Nav, it will create several sheets that you don't see. The connection info. This will show you the connection with the company. This one, the sheet one, is the sheet that is include data. Okay. So it show me, this is usually بتعطيني preview. It will not load all data. The data in the preview has been truncated due to size limit. There is always size limit in preview. It will show you sample of data. It will show you all column, but not all rows. But you see here, I have certain rows that I don't like. Okay, we are going to transform these. I click on transform. So I clicked first on get from Excel. I selected the Excel, and this is a very nice example to show you how transform is nice to be used. Okay, this column null, this row null, sorry, I'm gonna remove it because I don't need it, right? It is include null. Okay, so I can remove rows. Okay, remove rows. So when I click here top rows, I can select remove top row. How many rows من هون يعني I can from the one selected I will say one. I will select one row. So it removed my row, the first one. هلا the second row is my header. So I click here use first row as header. You see now I have number, name, currency. So these are the headers of my rows. Okay, the balance is number decimal. It's nice. It took it like number smart. In case it didn't take for you. If you have an old Excel, it might not take properly. So you just need to, you can select the column and transform. You can change the data type here. Okay, if it comes not decimal. Okay, because I need it to be the payment balance due will balance. It must be number. Okay, guys. So you see here the steps applied. Remove top rows, promoted headers, change type, but I didn't change type. Okay, so I click back. So there is, you see here, there is, this is a bug inside Excel. When I change type لاحظ رجع لي it's now all they are they are like text. So I can go back to Control Z, or I can change them back to decimal balance. If there is any problem, I can put this example. So be careful. Sometimes any change that you do on the Excel sheet, it might change something on the data. So now I have all my columns. I removed the headers. If there is anything that I would like to remove, for example, here, all empty, usually in nav, all empty currency, these are the local currency. I can change, it's very important to change, replace value, the empty, okay, the spaces, I will replace it with LBP, for example. So here it didn't take because I didn't select replace value. The empty, I put space. I can put the empty one. So you see here, the empty one, it is replaced with LBP. So if there is any empty or space, it will take it and consider it as IBP. So I applied all this. Now, when I close, my data are transformed now to the all, applying all changes that I have done on my Excel sheets. And you see here, I have sheet 1. This is for vendor. So I will select, I put vendor, I will change the name vendor from nav. Okay. This one is my sheets that I have just imported. It includes number, name, balance. Okay, guys. Here I will answer the question of Ali easier. I cannot, this is the data of vendors. Now you see صار عندي, I have multiple data source. The vendor from nav, this one, you see here, I have LBP because I changed LBP. The header is correctly the column. So either if I go back to my Excel sheet, okay, this vendor list from nav. Okay, I'm going to add a new customer with empty currency also. So I go to here to vendor. I'm gonna select a new vendor. It's gonna be domestic, يعني. This is why it's gonna be empty currency. So I'm just adding data here. Okay, I'm gonna call it Power BI customer just to make sure to see it directly here. And in this, I need to just make sure that the currency is empty. Okay, I will put 70912 my number. So now I have a new vendor called Power BI customer. Okay, if you go to here and refresh, you are going to see it. Sorry, I'm gonna call it Power BI vendor just in order just to abuse, right? You know, because this is a vendor card. So because I don't have connection directly to Power BI for to nav or Dynamics Business Center, if I refresh this vendor from nav, okay, it will not bring for me the data of the vendor yet. Okay, still okay. I'm just gonna remove this job because it's creating certain problems. Okay, I'm gonna just show you here and the refresh. Okay, and the refresh, there is no added. The last one is V0020, while I have V0030. I'm just going to click refresh again. Okay, refresh data to only one. You see, it's giving me an error because it's locked by another, because I opened the Excel sheet. I have to close it. Don't save. I'm gonna refresh it again. Okay, so I don't have the new vendor here. Why? Because I don't have connection directly to Dynamics Nav or Business Central. So this is the difference between when you are connecting to OData directly and the Excel. In order to have this Excel sheets updated here, what I have to do, if I have to go to vendor here to this sheet, because I'm connecting my data to Excel in this case, and the Excel is connecting to Nav. I have to enter again to vendor list. Okay, vendor list again. If you go down, there is no vendor, the new one. I click on refresh. I have now Power BI vendor V30. It comes USD empty, and you see here I still have this rows that I have deleted from there. So when I finished this refresh, I have to save. When I close, now if I refresh my table, okay, you will see that I have V0030. Okay, Power BI vendor. It was added, and it was the currency, it was changed automatically to LBP. Okay, guys, so this is the importance that the power, when you do certain transform activities on your data, even when you refresh Excel sheet, it comes from Dynamics Business Central, all these activities, it will be applied when you refresh your data. Okay, so LBP here, it was automatically applied to the new vendor. هلا الفندر هيدي list, it was directly connected to Dynamics Nav. إذا عملت لها itself refresh, it was not connected to Excel, this one. It was connected directly to OData, this vendor. So if you see here, you have it this automatically here with phone. So I did this one, and I'm gonna connect it directly. Okay, so the vendor connected directly. There is, you don't have to refresh Excel. You just refresh the connector here, and it will apply. So you see the difference. I have the first methods is to export to Excel and save this Excel and bring from Excel to Dynamics Business Central. This is very safe. You don't have anything in all case. But in order to update your data, you have to refresh this one. حدا بيعطيني example when this can be applicable to export to Excel and save it in Excel, then use it to in Power BI. I will give you this example, and just please keep it this in mind. علي عندك شيء hint؟
بصراحه كنت عم بحطي على الباور بي اي.
Okay, let me tell you something.
كثير تبعت.
Example علي, لما when you export, for example, GL entry for a financial year, closed financial year, you can export all your GL entry. Okay, this will not play. Why we do this? I will export all GL entry to Excel sheets. Okay, I will save them. Let's say for 2020, I'm working on them. I don't want to make load on Dynamics Nav when every time I refresh Power BI. Okay, so I export my GL entries to Excel for the year 2020. It's closed. I'm not going to do any transaction, and I will import this GL entry to Power BI for the year 2020, and I do a lot of dashboards. Even if I will refresh, this will not affect Dynamics Nav. I'm gonna do a lot of dashboards, reports, condensed, advanced that need a lot of calculation. It will not affect anything, the performance of Dynamics Nav. It's very important. So GL entries, here, for example, what is the difference? Here, and I'm connecting item ledger entry directly to Nav. When I'm refreshing this item ledger entry, the system is going to get data from the SQL of Nav. So it's gonna take like performance. Guys, we are talking here sometimes when I'm talking of about million of records, several users running a lot of scripts, so it's gonna affect performance. If you are working alone on your PC locally, you're not gonna feel the difference. But we are talking about million of records, several of users, a lot of loads on the server is gonna be affected. So usually we export it to Excel or any type of data, and we import it to Power BI and do dashboard for the financial years, the old financial years. It's not gonna be changed anymore on Business Center. So I can do this in a very smart way to publish it in Power BI. So this is, you do this in Excel. So you go to General Ledger Entries, General Ledger Entries, and you send all these for a period of time, 1/1/20 until 31/12/20, and you send it to Excel. Okay, so and you import it to Nav. So it will, you can do a lot of dashboards, a lot of reports. It will not affect the, and sometimes you might have limitation in Excel. It will tell you number of rows. Is again, you have a lot of reports. You can export as they can do it as XML port, export your data on CSV and import it. So it's very important whenever there is a huge number of data. Okay, so you have this Excel sheet. The other type is, I'm gonna repeat it for the second time, but I'm gonna show you here. You go to web services, and from the available web services, you select one of them. Let's say here we have GL entries. You see, I have a query of GL entries. I click the OData. I go to Power BI, get data, OData, paste, and okay. You see, I'm on purpose, I'm adding a lot of tables to my data. I'm gonna load it as is. Okay, because I would like to show you that there will not be loads. And it's like there is a quick access to data once it is loaded. The Power BI, it will show you the performance is gonna be excellent. So here the query one, this one, the query is called GL entries. Okay, so I have now customer ledger entries, I have vendor, I have under item ledger entries. If I go to my data and I see GL entries, these are all my GL entries. Okay. But in the data model, you see here, it is when I connected directly to tables of Nav, the GL entries, custom ledger entries, or item ledger entries are, there was like smart connector connecting, they saw that this entry number, you know, linked. هو this is not true. مش دايما الانتري number are linked. So if there is anything that I would like to remove, I can delete this. It's not true in entry. This is what it was applied to in entries, but in Nav the relations between tables are not available from the beginning. It's not defined. You have to define to link your entries based on different, يعني the source type. بالجهة الانتري اللي هي source type, customer and customer number usually are linked. Okay, but I can, if for example the customer for training, I have it here, the customer for training. This one, I can link it to customer ledger entry. And they are linked by customer number, right? So I can link like this. I drag the customer number to number, so it will be automatically linked. So this is proper. You see, it will show me this link. So I can link customer number in customer ledger entries to customer table, the number one. Usually in NAV there is customer name, but phone number, for example, is not available here in customer ledger entry. Now I can bring reports that is bringing data from customer ledger entry. I can show also phone number. So this is what will help me the data. This is the model part. We're gonna see it also more advanced when we goes in more practice. So now what the second step for today is to build quickly certain dashboard for the data that I brought from different sources. You see how many sources now I had? I have connected directly to OData. I have connected directly to Business Central, and I have brought Excel sheets. Okay, they are all now here available connected to Business Central, but you can consider them this Excel sheets coming from Oracle, this OData coming from CRM or financial operations. So you can bring different source from different parties. I have data. So the first step, I can say it now, it is successful. I connected data. The second step, transform data and model. I did it, but I did it in a very minor way, right? So I did it and it was easy. I changed column, I removed certain row, I made the first row as column. Okay, you remember this when we did it. Okay, so it was like, and when we click on transform, now I have to visualize my data. So the first tools that is the best one to utilize, you can always add the code and A. You see here, it will show you different suggestion. Most recent GL entries. When I click on it, it will show me entries. Okay, so if I click enter, it will show me table of entries. This is the most recent. You see here, the 21. So Anna, I don't want. I can see total quantity over time. I can see, I can count customer over time, for example. Show me قد ايه عندك time يعني it takes into consideration the time available created of customer. You see how many new customer you have over time. It's really nice. Okay, I can see customer balance. لحظة by, you see the system will by country. Why I don't have country? So if there is any you see here any report that cannot be available, it will tell you that is not available. Count مثلا vendor from now by vendor location. It will show you how many vendor per location I have, because I have location yellow, blue, green. Okay, so بالcustomer ledger entry, for example, I have here customer ledger entries. I can select sum of amount. Look what it's happened. When I click on it, the system automatically, it showed me customer of amount, total of amount. This will, it will show me what? It will show me the like plus the debit and credit of customers. It will show me the total of them. What is the value? I can see it this as graph, but it's not an important for shooting graphs. If I would like to see amount LCY, for example, it will show me the two column. If I want to see also this by here, what I have as data by salesperson. Okay, so it will show me for every salesperson how many amounts due, amounts, and LCY. Okay, I can see also, for example, remaining. So here, when I click on amount and remaining, it's the same because all amount paid by customer, they were, the amount total of the amount is the one remaining. They paid all amounts they are applied. So you see here, I can see when I click on several amount لحاله, automatically system will select the right column chart. Okay, but if I would like to see, for example, the salesperson remaining, I would like to see the remaining amount LCY by salesperson. It show me automatically this. I can see for the salesperson PS, I have this amount remaining LCY, and I can see this one for another one. I can automatically convert this report into donut chart to see it as chunk chart. How many part of it with the percentage? You see here, I have now 32.1 percentage for this salesperson. So 67.9% of amount due are related to salesperson PS. Okay, so I don't have the PS name, for example, here, right? So it's very easy to be done. In that case, I'm gonna show you, but after adding several cards. Okay, if I would like to see the total invoice amount, okay, the total invoice amount, what I will do, I will create here a card. When I click on card, I'm showing you several way how to create elements inside this. I click a card and I would like to see total amount. Okay, this is the total amount of everything related to customer entry. But if I would like to see the invoice amount, and inside this visuals there is a filters here. Okay, the filters, inside the filters there is 3 sections. Filters on this visual, so this filter here is related to only this one. Filter on this page, so this section is filter applied to all this page. And filters on all pages. So if I have different pages, and I'm gonna put here customer analysis as a first page. So I double click on the page name. So this is the page customer analysis. So the filters on all page, if I do any filter here, it will apply to all pages that I have. This is a beauty also. It's very nice. If I would like here the amount to add a filter, so I can, if I select the amount, and I can tell, for example, which is less than, just it is loading, sorry. Okay, I can select less than or greater than, so I can apply amount filter. Also, I can select document type here, add it to filter, and I can select invoice. You see here, I have 1.78 million invoice. Okay, and I can change this amount here. So I can call it sales or invoice amount. You see, when I change this invoice amount, it will be changed here. We're gonna see later how we can format all this in the third sessions. Okay, so if I would like to add another card for payment, I select also amount LCY here. Okay, then for this filter, I can drag document type here and see here payment. Okay, so I have 267,000 of amount paid. Again, if I would like to change the amount here, I thought payment amount. Okay, one more type of data that we can see also. If I would like to see the top 5 customer, for example, top 5 by what? By amount, for example. Okay, I can select here and I can see it as table. I can add table. So the system will add table. Usually it will add for me the objects or the visuals in the first empty part. Okay, I can add customer number and customer name, currency code, okay, and the I can select the remaining. This will show me how many amount it's gonna be remaining due on this. And this filter on this visual here, I can select, I can put, for example, less than, I can all remaining greater than 100,000, for example. So I can greater than, I put 100. So it will show me apply, I click apply filter. It will show me directly, for example, all the balance greater than 100. I can do this filter. I can remove the filter, while I can go to customer number, for example, here, and select top N. Top N, which is mean what? I can see top 5, okay? And based on which value? By value. So based on the remaining. So apply filter. It will show me the most the customer will have with top 5 remaining amount. If I would like to change the sorting, okay, I can click here, sort by remaining. So the change, I can see it the most, the customer with the most big remaining amount to the least amount. Guys, just in order, because I know now your focus is very down. Why? Because you are seeing something very easy, but you are always all time watching now. What you have to do now in this last 15 minutes is to practice what you saw. Okay? I know that you are not supposed now in this session to be the pro on Power BI, but what you saw, what I was trying to do is something very easy if you know already what you want to see. The most important or most complicated here in Power BI or in any business intelligence solution is what you want to see on the dashboard. Because as you saw, connecting data is easy. You do it once, then you have all your data. You can save this file and build lot of pages. I can build 10 pages, all time change pages. So you can keep your data in one place and keep building reports. Transform is easy. When you visualize, it's very easy also the visuals that are available here, but you don't know what to do, what to see, or what to show, sorry, based on the needs. What we are going to do now in the model 1, not in model 1, in model 2, okay, we have the model 2 assignment. Okay, guys, what you have to do is yourself now in front of, in front of me. I don't see your screen, but you have to show me at the end. You have to import the screenshot of what you have done. Okay, you will see that you have already the model 2 is available now on your model 2 assignment. What you have to do is to go to Dynamics 365 Business Central or Dynamics Nav. Okay, if you have CRM, please do it on accounts. Okay, so I need from you to export these data to Excel. So either I don't remember if Rudy has access remote. You can export Nav to Excel, bring this Excel to your PC, and import it to Power BI. So what you are going to do to export vendor to Excel, save it in Excel, go to Power BI, import the vendor Excel sheet, remove the first row, and make the second row as header. Then load data to Power BI. Okay? And create one dashboard, or create one report. Create one report because dashboard is not yet unless you publish it. Okay, so create one report for vendor. You select what you can use the Q&A. You can use your own data that you are going to see. Okay, guys. So please let us now in the last minutes that we have go to your data, export your vendors or your accounts to Excel, then bring it to Power BI and build your first simple, easy reports on Power BI desktop. Okay, and I'm available to help you do this work now. Okay, please.
محمد
Yeah.
انا بس عامل اكسبورت من دايناميك نافيجن ما بيطلع
Yes.
عندي to make update للداتا اذا زدت اي new vendor بالسيستم.
انت you didn't install nav في nav excel add-in اسمه. You can
اوكي
ask for to be installed. It's very
just
it
كمان
takes
اتاكد.
seconds. لا لا, you are right. If you don't have installed this, you don't have this refresh button. No, you are right. بس
اوكي
Elon,
so
you can ask your admin to or your partner or whoever has the installer of
buy
nav.
license يعني.
But no, it's free. They don't need license for it.
اوكي so just need to add it يعني
Just
ما
install. It takes 10 seconds. Install nav add-in. Next, and it is installed. You open Excel. You have this whenever you export Excel nav to Excel.
اوكي so I can refresh it anytime I want. هيك ساعتها
Anytime. So you can. You don't need to export again. But again, سؤالك حلو كمان محمد. Please, انتوا عم تشتغلوا. Whoever is working now. If you now you don't have this add-in refresh, you can always export again your Excel and save it in the same place, same name, and refresh in Power BI. It works.
But I can't change anything يعني for example to add any columns or delete any column. This will affect my report, right?
لا, you can add. You can add حيقول لك they will ask you when you refresh that there is some column. Do you want to load them? So you can add column. You can
Even
always
even even between the column, not at the end of it. At the
yeah,
end of
you can always add. But when you refresh, it will tell you. You see, as it will always when you refresh connect to. You don't have access to nav, so you can do this. You can add column, but when you refresh, it might pop up a question if you would like to add these columns or remove them. You can always remove them.
because as I remember that when I want to refresh the data in Power BI, they said that there is a missing columns or something like this. I used to work on it before, but it's been a long time really.
You removed a column that you are using is different. You added between them, and so if in case there is for any reason any broken connection, you can load again this Excel sheet, and عرفت, you can load it again, so it will take the same format. If there is change in structure or there is difference between Excel sheets versions, this is why it works. And I'm using the latest version. It can let me import even if I added columns, but you might have different version, different nav, so it depends on the data and the version of your tools. If there is any problem while refreshing, reload again, يعني get data again and apply these changes if in case not that big.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
طيب.
for Ahmed who has only CRM, please go to your accounts or contacts, Ahmed, export them to Excel. You can export from Dynamic CRM to Excel, export them to CRM to Excel and save them and do the same. So you are preparing your Excel sheet from whichever source you want, from CRM, from nav, you can build your own Excel sheet, but at the end you can export from Dynamics, any Dynamics to Excel, and this Excel you save it and import to Power BI. So do it from CRM also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hello, Muhammad. I'm gonna show you for those يعني إذا حدا who feel something he didn't follow me properly, I'm gonna work يعني هيك slow movie, show you the example how we do it أنا usually. So if somebody would like to follow any step, he can watch me. If you feel confident that you know, keep working. Okay. So this is only for anybody who feel still they missed something. So what I do, I go to my vendor. Okay. So I either go from purchase vendors or I search vendors on the top. So the most important for me, I can put here vendors, or if I was in CRM, please go to your accounts. So select your data, all your data that you would like to export, and export it to Excel. The first step. So the first step is export your data to Excel. You will have a list of your data exported to Excel. Either you are CRM or you have a NAV or Business Central or Finance and Operation. Then this Excel, if you have this add-in installed on your PC, you will have this folder. If not, you will not see it. So you cannot refresh, but it's not a problem. Okay, you can have, you save as your, I'm gonna, it's what هوطي صوت شوي just for people who would like to focus. So I'm gonna export my Excel, save my Excel, sorry. Again, I'm gonna put it here on the Power BI public. Okay, so the new vendor list from nav. Okay, I'm gonna save it. So the first step is to have a list of vendor available on your PC. Then I close it. Okay, guys. So who's following with me, please, you can watch me. Now you have the second step is go to Power BI. Okay, just in order not to complicate all things here, I'm gonna open another Power BI. Now once I'm inside Power BI, I have to get data from Excel. So either I click on get data or I click, there is an icon for Excel automatically available. Sorry, it's taking time. Let me close this. And again, you can watch all this on the video if you have time. So I click on data section, there is Excel icons. Or I can click import data from Excel, or I can click get data Excel. So you decide what you want. Okay, when I click Excel, it go to the folder where you saved this Excel. And I'm still on the same folder. New vendor list from nav. I click on it. So now what Power BI is taking the data from Excel, okay, and put it, I will select sheet one because as I told you, nav will put in certain sheet the connection info, region, and all this. So I will select sheet one. I see in front of me a shot of the data, okay. I can click on, because I would like to remove certain column, I will click transform data. ما تكبسوا لود، اذا كبستوا لود بضل فيكم ترجع تعدلوا، بس انه اذا كبستوا لود حتفوت الداتا دغري. So أنا هلا I'm inside what we call transform. Sheet 1 I can change sheet 1 name, call it vendor from nav. Okay, this is the sheet. I can come here to this row and click remove top rows. He will ask me specify how many rows to remove on the top. I will say only one. I want to remove only one. I click OK. So now I have the first row is my column name. I select them. If I can and use first row as header. So you see now I have number, name are the header for me. I double check that's balance. They are all numbers, perfect. I have this what I added one section here to change values, replace empty with LBP. You can skip it if you don't want. So I have LBP. I made sure that all my data are correct. When I finish, I click close and apply. So now there will be fields here. You see this, it was expanded now, and I will see that there will be vendor from nav. It's still loading. Okay, vendor from nav. I have balance, all this fields here. If I would like to check my data, I go to data section and I see all my data here. I made sure that there is no empty. The empty is LBP. So you see it's correct. The first column is correct number and currency. So I have loaded my data successfully. Anybody has a problem with this step?
لا لا لا.
تمام. So once you reach this, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. بس اللي بده نرجع هيك نعملنا شي 6 graphs together and we will be done for today.
Muhammad, how we can choose the top five? Can you repeat it based on the
يعني
values?
بس تنقوا التوب 5 بتكون موجودة inside, it will be inside any specific visuals. So let's say for customer number, you can select inside the filter on this visual. It is available only on the filter on this visual. You can select either advanced filtering or basic filtering يعني فيكم تنقوا منهم. Or you can select top n and you put how many top you want. Let's say top 10. You can select top 10 and select by which value. So you would like to sort these customer by which value, remaining or whatever can, or either. So and
Okay,
you
I
click
saw
apply.
it. I saw it. Okay, okay.
يلا great. شفتوا لما تبلشوا you practice it, you will learn it more, guys.
But it's not necessary to be the first column, right?
Yeah. It could be any column. You see here customer name. I can have customer name. So it could be any column.
After I put the top five, there is a field down, it's called by value, right?
Yeah, so it is asking you want to top 5 based on which criteria, guys.
Okay,
you
so I
want
should
you choose
choose the criteria, put it inside.
yeah, remaining or amount or quantity sold. يعني on the customer and nav, for example, in customer table you have sales quantity, you have إذا بدك currency, you could be amount sold. So you have different values, flow field اسمهم. You can add them to your query if you would like to use this sorting. But the beauty is that you can always use this for collection, for example. You put them, that's the top 10 remaining, and you know that there is a lot of amount due.
محمد
Yes.
سوري بس I can't locate هذه قصة التوب ان.
بدك تنقي. Yes. انت when you have a list, okay, you have to add something within your data to filter. Yeah, let's say if I'm adding for vendors, I'm gonna do it, guys, with you. If I would like to add a vendor, and I will select table because the easiest to, but you can do it on any column. I can change it later on to any visuals. I will select number, okay, name, and the balance, LCY. This is the balance for vendor. Okay, here inside the filter for this visual, I can select the number. You see here, I have filter type. I can select top N and mention 5. Then the system is asking me the value by which is the criteria to top. I will say the balance LCY. I would like to have the top 5 customers with the most balance. Okay, I apply filter. You see here, I have this in front of me. If the sorting is not as you would like to have, if you remember, I clicked on these 3 points here. There is a sort by, and I can put sort by balance if I would like to sort them by the most balance until the least, descending. So this is how I do it in a very easy way. I can change this graph directly to pie chart, for example. You see here صار عندي انا هلا top 5. Okay, I can see that the 28.45% is for this blue. If I would like to see the name, you see, I can mouse over. The name is a London. يعني أكتر the customer with the most إذا بدك balance is London. Then there is the progressive home furnishing. Okay. So I can also the legend here. I can remove the number and consider the name for the legend. You can see the name. It's very easy, guys. Guys, once you start to be familiar with it, you will love it. And this visualization is gonna be easy. But today, guys, don't put pressure on yourself. I don't want you to make a very nice visual report. I want you to get data and do certain report graphs here, certain charts. So you can add this one. You can add a card, for example. And personally, if I were in place of you, I could add the question. You see here the question, you can put, for example, I would like to see the vendor balance by country. You see? I put the question. It's very nice, very nice. And here inside, because there is a lot of vendor without balance, okay, I will put a filter on this visual. Show me only balance that are greater than 0. Nice. I can remove it. I can turn it to regular custom like this. Okay, so here the balance which are greater, it was, I don't know why, it's greater than 0. Okay, so I only have these vendors. So it's very nice. I can turn automatically this to pie chart, for example. Or if I would like to see which all the balance, this is what we call tree map. The tree map, it will show you this as a volume of each one of them. Or if you would like, you can use this funnel. Funnel is it will consider the biggest one is like 100% and show you all the rest as percentage of this first one. Next time we are going also, once building dashboard, we are going to explain the advantage of each one of them. Okay, so I can see here the vendor balance by country. I can put it here. I'm gonna show it, sorry. See it. I can also see it as a map, but here, because there is different countries, the map, it will not be very easy. But you see here, it will show me small. I have this small circle, not very seen because different countries from different places. I can see it as map. Okay, so or I can keep it here like tree map. So I will turn it back. Okay, to like this one. Okay, so I can add also total balance. Okay, I can add a question if I don't know what to do. Okay, I can total vendor balance. You see, total balance LCY, due LCY. This is showing me the balance due LCY. So I can select it, turn it into graph, and call it here vendor balance LBP. See guys, I'm just trying to show you while I'm working. I can put here. Okay, see, so I have now the vendor balance. I can see also if I would like to see the vendor vendor balance by currency. Okay, so vendor balance by currency. You see here, I can see it, I can turn it. And here also I can filter. I would like to see only balance that are greater than 0. Okay guys, and this one I will rename the page, call it vendor analysis. Please do this. And for example here, you can add, I asked you to create like 6 section. You can add, for example, the balance of vendor balance by posting groups, by vendor posting group. You can see. So I can see that I have a lot of domestic. My business is mostly, I'm buying from domestic and a little bit from foreign, equally almost. Okay, and from EU. So I saw balance by currency, Euro and USD, the balance by name of the top 5 customers, see by country. So I have from one list, small list, I could generate a dashboard. Please, once you are done with this, I want you just to click on this. If you have the snip and sketch, you have snip on Windows. Please cut it for me. Do the cut. Okay, and save it. So once you are done, okay, so cut it and go to your class here, and you have to attach it. You can attach once you go, because I'm trainer. You can attach your screenshot to and return the assignment. Okay, the second one is not valid for you because you don't have the instance. We didn't use it because it is too technical. ثانك يو سينار. انا حضرني هلا شوي معكم لنشوف اذا حدا بده اي سؤال. يعني بهمني بصراحه بالكلاس وورك لما تروح على الاساينمنت على اليمين فوق في اد.
اوكي
صح وبتاع you can attach file then you submit شيء هيك بعتقد. إذا ما واضحة بجرب add myself لفرجيكم كيف، ولا واضحة بيانت؟
لا واضح، المفروض عملنا لك تورنينج ان المفروض توصل.
هات لنشوف.
انت بس كيف عملتها؟
صار في اثنين يعني بتفوتوا على الفيو على الاساينمنت على اليمين فوق توب اوف سكرين في شيء اد فايل او اتاتش. هسا صار علي وعمر رجع. ما بين عندك؟ خليني لك بس خليني ازيد حالي. انا بعد بس مش بريزنتنج، بس ثاني لا يوصلني الايميل. يلا بس I'm gonna show you كيف بيصير. بس
بالكلاس وورك ما هيك في الموديل
ايه
2
بالكلاس وورك، بس بدك تفوت على
اوكي
الاساينمنت.
فيو اساينمنت اوكي لحظه شوي. يور ورك معك اد اور كرييت هاي
صح add or create.
هاي خلص اوكي.
اوكي جايز، بقلب المفروض بقلب الاساينمنت let's say هذا الموديول 2 assignment بتفوتوا عليه view assignment. اوكي فوق في add or create بتكبسوا عليها وبتزيدوا الفايل تبعكم. you click on file so and you browse it. سكرين شوت انتم حطيتوها شي محل picture so you browse this picture. اوكي let's say هون حنقي واحدة تانية انا. اوكي and once it is uploaded you are done you turn in. اوكي هيك بتكون you are done with this assignment.
انا بعد عندي شغله بالاكسل. هلا انا ضفت وحده جديده يعني فندر، بس ما عم ببين بالاكسل بالريفرش. يمكن في شيء انا عامله شيء.
انت زدتها بناف بالبزنس سنترال
مزبوط.
وعندك البutton ريفرش
بالاكسل بالناف قصدك؟
ايه
بالاكسل ايه فتت في ريفرش اول.
اوكي بس عليها ما بينت. بطلت سامعه، بس عندك بكون عندك مشكلة بتوين الاكسل والناف، يعني لازم هي بس او تاكد انت انه سكرت وصارت موجودة بناف مظبوطة، يعني عمل ريفرش بناف. Okay, so and you make sure that this is available بناف itself الريفرش يعني بين تحت. so روح على الاكسل click refresh. you might have problem between Excel and nav itself إذا ما بينت. اوكي جايز ساعتها قلنا بعت لنا اياه اذا ما مشي حال. انت لازم تراجع بالانستوليشن عندكم، يعني لازم عادة تكون available. هيدي standard functionality of nav. Okay guys, بس as a summary of today what we have seen, it's most important today انه what is Power BI، شو هن الاليمنت اللي تاع الباور بي اي، واشتغلنا على باور بي اي ديسكتوب. شفنا كيف how to connect data من اكسل من او داتا حتى من البزنس سنتر دايركتلي اذا في انستنس. اوكي سو واذا اكسل دايركتلي او دايركتلي على او داتا ببزنس سنترال. وقلنا بالاس كيو ال you can do this اذا عندكم access باس كيو ال. once شفنا we can bring a lot of data فينا to bring from different source. when we connect to data عندنا اول step هي بعد الكونكت هي transform before we load. So we transform, we do a lot of changes, then we load data. Once we load data صارت موجودة عندنا الداتا على اليمين بالفيلدز. So وعندنا section اسمها report data وموديل. So فينا نشوفها بالداتا. Once we can start building our dashboard. We can use Q&A أو بلشوا تستعملوا visualizations أو اسمهم visual. So either visualization or visual. This is what you are supposed to know for today. I'm gonna upload الفيديو على الكلاسروم once يخلص الابلود. البرزنتيشن اللي استعملتها حتكون موجوده بالبرزنتيشن سكيلز والاساينمنت اوريدي عملتوهم. So all material حيصيروا once خلصنا you can get them. So you can review اذا حبيتوا الماتيريال. Please try بكره تعملوا داشبورد. واذا عندكم اي مشكله او اي problem let us know على الكلاس روم. قولوا لنا شو المشكله عندكم and we will try to for sure to support you as much as we can. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed the session today. Next time حيكون كل الوقت practice. So please يعني next time have your Power BI available. هنعمل practice على الداتا تاعتنا. We will do practice on CRM and on nav same time. يعني هعمل أنا two example وبتطبقوا معي. Okay, اليوم كان كل السكشن كانت على I'm showing Business Central بس on Thursday we're gonna show ال CRM وال nav. Next time we are going to make sure start building dashboard. نستعمل visualization, نستعمل filter advanced, نعمل قصص advanced على reports and start publishing report to dashboard. اوكي حدا عنده اي شيء اي سؤال اي استفسار؟ ميرسي كثير لوقتكم. انا بعرف لهلا الساعه 6:30 ستاف. يعطيكم الف عافيه.
ميرسي لك.
و
Thank you.
have a great evening. يعطيكم العافيه.
Thank you for coming.
اذا حدا عنده سؤال احنا available.
Thank you. Thank you.
يعطيكم العافيه.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.